So this is take two of the Ashley Creek post mini rain event. I would say that the rain that we just had, which ended maybe 10 minutes ago, was less than a quarter inch of rain in a span of about 30 minutes. Now if you look at the flow rate, it's probably a good 8 times more water here than maybe 10 times more water here than there normally is. So even when it's dry, there's still water seeping down into the creek from various sources. We're just going to step in it for a second. Just if you look at the speed, you could see that it travels. Look at that leaf and follow the leaf. It's traveling maybe like a foot per second or something. I would say the deepest point is, let me see, how deep is this? So this is about 2 inches maybe. This maybe a quarter inch or half inch. No, quarter inch. So this kind of like is the main part of it in this little area. So 16th Terrace is that way. So we're going downstream, away from 13th Street. And 13th Street is about a quarter mile that way, maybe it's a third of a mile. And then Gainesville High School would be on our right. And there's some apartment called like Ravine or Ashley something apartments. And then there's maybe, I don't know, 10 or so homes on 21st Ave, going that way all the way to Coffee Culture on this side. And that sort of defines the neighborhood. And at the very far end, there's a parking lot on the right-hand side, on the Gainesville High School side. There's a parking lot for students, which is angled and flows into the creek head, if you will. And then on the left side of this creek is an abandoned office building, 4-story, with also a decorated parking lot in the back half of it. Now we're going to follow the creek towards the culvert. You can see the raccoons were here at one point. Good on them. This seems to come from the apartment complex that is on the south side of this little Ashley Creek system. It'd be interesting to see what kind of micro creatures live in here. That's the limestone-ish sort of area, and it sort of snakes its way upstream from there, or towards upstream. You can tell how it degrades over time, and it's sort of slowly eroding that. Very pretty. And lots of cool seashells and things like that. So we're stepping back in time here. Great to go shark teeth hunting right now. But we're going to take some film. We're going to make it further down to the creek. Towards the culvert, which allows this Ashley Creek to go underneath 16th Terrace and then join Hawktown Creek. In fact, see if you look at these pipes, they come from that apartment complex. This is how they're dealing with their excess rainwater. There are several of these pipes actually that go into the creek system. So you can kind of begin to guess that this is the big drop off. Oh, look at this. This is actually kind of what we want for our flow rate meter setup. Let's see what this is. This is obviously broken, degraded. This is stable. Yeah, pretty stable. And then this, you can tell, has seen better days, is what we say, I think. This must have been part of some solid concrete structure that stopped being solid, give or take, what, 20 years ago, just from the look of it. And may have been put up in the 70s or 60s or something like that, just from the look of it. Here's the various items of trash. Here's a private home. I think Bob was there. This is the beginning of the edge of 16th Terrace, which runs, this goes towards 16th Avenue. That one goes towards 23rd Avenue, and the Lowe's is all across the street, and then over here is the Lucky's Market. we're interested in, this is where we could actually measure the amount of volume that the creek collects after a very mild rain event. And then we imagine that if it was more Irma-like, or that storm that we had in springtime, that the river, it would turn to a mini river and probably be, you know, more along this level. It'd be interesting to find out how high does it really get. I don't know if we can see straight through. We can see straight through. So this travels what looks like maybe, let's take a guess. This travels, I would say 40 meters, so a bit over 100 feet. Let's see. Yeah, 100 feet or so. So this would be a perfect location for like within a kilometer. Find out how many gallons extra pressure works here. And then we can go back to the statistics and see how much rain did fall. And then, you know, calculate the width of the creek and what its aperture is, and see how that lines up, if you will. So it's almost beginning to look natural, like natural rocks, except for it was not constructed like that. This is obviously been degraded. So, which is on the positive side, we could actually begin to imagine, you know, this being part of a way to mitigate the upstream collection of rainwater, which then rushes towards Hawktown, which is that way, and then joins Hawktown going towards First 16th, and then later on 8th Avenue, where it sort of plateaus and actually starts to flood the area. So that's sort of what your upstream watershed looks like. Water is clear. Turbidity is not bad at all, just from the looks of it. Of course, I'm not the person that should be saying these things, but you can tell that this is not bad, actually. There's no, it smells natural, a bit of decayish, but nothing, you know, that would surprise you. Plastic trash, that sort of thing. Okay, well, for a 1.0 on Ashley Creek, and then we should really do this on the south side of Gainesville High School to see what's happening there, and then begin to determine what does the square footage slash square, yeah, what does the surface area that's over on that side mean in terms of runoff, because you have maybe 1,000 cars that park around here every day during high school days. Right now it's what is it, 24th of May, so school's about to be closed, or maybe they already in summer school, I don't know. But anyways, that's maybe 200 days a year. There's 1,000 cars that park there, and little by little that contributes to whatever the runoff is, not just in terms of volume, but actually the materials that actually end up in the watershed here. So, and we'll close with that for now. Pretty no, isn't it? Let's see if we can find a shark tooth. Nothing really obvious. Okay. Right, mate. Maybe across the street. Just right. Wouldn't that be cool? There's glass. There's other stuff. There's plastic. Okay, we'll have to edit this part out. Bye-bye. Oh, and by the way, it's a private road. And this is where, you know, water seeps in from the other side, which is where people, you know, it depends on how many manage their lawn, but that's how our fertilizers and, you know, weed control, kind of like man-made chemicals can sort of find their way into the creek system, because you have these sort of seepage areas from here all the way, again, quarter mile to a third of a mile towards 13th Street. And there's maybe, you know, 12 or 16 of these things where water, you know, comes down and collects into this part of the watershed. But overall, this looks in very, very good condition to me, and it's very, very pretty. Really awesome looking, actually. This is pure Florida from way back when.